Have you ever noticed gradual shifts in an elderly family member that seem subtly concerning but difficult to pinpoint? Many believe that passing in old age occurs suddenly, but in reality our bodies often provide quiet signals months or even a year before life reaches its conclusion. Sadly, these indications frequently go unnoticed because they appear insignificant initially, and by the time we recognize their significance, we've lost valuable preparation time. In this article, we'll explore several critical indicators that commonly emerge during the final year of an elderly person's life, signs that might easily be dismissed as normal aging. These indicators typically begin subtly, but understanding them can provide emotional clarity and practical knowledge to maximize your remaining time with your cherished family member. This information is vital because recognizing these signs early allows you to provide enhanced care, create meaningful memories, and ensure your loved one's final chapter contains comfort, dignity, and serenity. By reading to the end, you'll learn to navigate these transitions with compassion and understanding, empowering yourself to make informed decisions rather than being caught unprepared. This knowledge brings peace of mind and helps you offer support during your family member's most vulnerable period. Understanding these indicators isn't merely about awareness. It's about making the remaining moments as beautiful and meaningful as possible. Gradual physical decline. One of the earliest and most telling indicators that someone may be approaching life's final chapter is unintentional weight reduction. Initially, it might seem inconsequential, a belt needing additional tightening, clothes hanging looser, or a gradually diminishing appetite. These changes might be dismissed as natural aging, but what often goes unrecognized is that this progressive weight loss, especially when occurring without deliberate effort, rarely signals something benign. It represents a message from the body indicating deeper changes than we might want to acknowledge. The body may no longer absorb nutrients effectively, muscle mass begins to diminish, and essential bodily systems start slowing down. While aging naturally leads to some muscle loss, when this process accelerates, it clearly signals something significant. The body might struggle to digest food properly or process protein in ways that support muscle maintenance. This leads to muscle wasting, affecting not just physical appearance, but the core of a person's independence and strength. The loss of muscle mass weakens the body, making movement more difficult, increasing fall risks, and compromising the immune system. A body that can no longer function as before becomes more susceptible to illnesses, making the entire system increasingly vulnerable. Appetite changes significantly contribute to this weight reduction. Many older adults simply don't experience hunger as they once did. Their sense of taste dulls, and food no longer provides the same enjoyment it once did. Meals become less about nourishment and more about obligation. For some, this results in skipped meals or reduced portions, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes from apathy. This isn't merely a passing phase. It's a physiological change as the body recognizes its diminishing energy reserves. The signals telling us to eat become quieter and less frequent, resulting in reduced energy, diminished strength, and a gradual decline in overall health that no amount of encouragement can truly reverse. Underlying medical conditions may also contribute to this weight loss. Conditions like serious illnesses, heart problems, and kidney disease often progress without obvious symptoms until much later. Even emotional health issues or cognitive decline can lead to reduced eating and contribute to weight loss. These conditions don't just affect the body, they quietly impact the mind, causing confusion, despair, and withdrawal. The body simply can't sustain itself as it once did. Some families attempt to solve this problem by encouraging their loved ones to eat more, offering favorite foods, or supplementing with nutrition drinks. While these efforts come from love, if weight continues declining despite these actions, it's essential to recognize that the issue isn't just dietary. It's the body preparing for a deeper transition that can't be avoided. At this stage, pushing for larger meals may not yield desired results. Instead, focus on comfort, offering easily consumed foods, prioritizing hydration, and creating moments of warmth and care that provide peace. If you notice significant weight loss in an elderly relative, especially if they're eating less, feeling weaker, or struggling with activity, it's time to pay attention. This isn't just about appearance. It's the body sending a profound message. Understanding this message with empathy can guide you through the difficult journey ahead, allowing you to appreciate remaining moments with clarity, knowing that your time together is precious. Be present and make each moment meaningful, not from fear but from love and respect for the unfolding process. Profound exhaustion and weakness. Another heart-rending sign in the year preceding end of life is overwhelming, persistent exhaustion. This isn't tiredness that disappears after rest, it's a deep, all-consuming weariness that persists despite adequate sleep. It's not about feeling tired after activity. It's about fatigue that feels bone-deep. Even simple tasks become monumental. Challenges. Getting out of bed requires tremendous effort. Walking across a room feels exhausting. And everyday activities like preparing meals, dressing, or maintaining conversation drain energy completely. This profound fatigue isn't merely an aging symptom, it signals the body working to conserve its diminishing energy. As organ function decreases, the body prioritizes essential functions. The heart doesn't pump as efficiently, circulation weakens, and muscles receive less oxygen. Consequently, those in their final months feel increasingly weak, unsteady, and less capable of maintaining activities they once enjoyed. Metabolic slowdown plays a significant role too. The body, once efficient at utilizing energy, shifts focus towards self-preservation. Rather than fueling movement, energy diverts to maintaining vital organs. This explains why many elderly individuals in decline need more sleep, struggling to stay awake for extended periods or requiring multiple rest periods throughout the day. The body seemingly decides that remaining energy reserves should prioritize survival rather than activity. The emotional impact of this fatigue may be the most devastating aspect. Seniors who once prided themselves on independence become frustrated or embarrassed by their inability to perform once simple tasks. They might withdraw from conversations, avoid social interactions, or abandon hobbies, not from disinterest, but because their bodies can no longer support their passions. This withdrawal often leads to isolation, which accelerates decline. Watching someone transition from active and engaged to withdrawn and exhausted is deeply painful. Family members may feel helpless, unsure how to help or fill the silence that now permeates interactions. It's tempting to assume they're unmotivated or should push through, but the reality is that pushing won't help. The body is communicating something important. What matters most during these times is acknowledging their limitations. Allow them space and time to rest and find comfort in quietness. No amount of activity will change what's happening. Instead, focus on cherishing possible conversations and creating peaceful moments. The goal becomes making their remaining days comfortable, free from pressure to remain active. Ultimately, what matters isn't what they can do, but how they feel. Whether they feel loved, understood, and supported. When everything else fades, the love and care we provide leave the deepest impression. Mental changes and social withdrawal. As people approach life's final stages, the mind undergoes truly heartbreaking transformations. The person you've known, who once possessed engaging mental sharpness, begins slowly slipping away. This isn't simple forgetfulness, but a gradual unraveling that's difficult to witness and harder to comprehend. Someone who once remembered everything from trivial details to cherished memories may struggle to recall names, faces, or recent events. Their once clear thoughts may now seem confused and disoriented. This isn't fleeting forgetfulness, but something more profound and emotionally challenging for witnesses. Imagine watching someone filled with knowledge and life, gradually losing connection to things that defined them. Conversations become harder to follow, and their presence in familiar places becomes overshadowed by increasing disorientation. They may seem unaware of surroundings or become lost in previously familiar locations. Where once they were animated and engaged, they may withdraw, becoming quieter and more detached. This quietness doesn't indicate apathy. It reflects the mind's diminishing ability to process emotions and connections it once handled effortlessly. This subtle cognitive decline creates an emotional journey for both the person experiencing it and their loved ones. It's not merely forgetfulness, it signals the mind gradually withdrawing as the body prepares for inevitability. You might notice them experiencing brief moments of clarity before fading back into confusion. Their mind seems to drift between time frames, leaving everyone feeling helpless. Perhaps most devastating is the emotional withdrawal, as though someone who once energized rooms now retreats inward, distancing themselves from previously enjoyable social interactions. They might sit silently, perhaps gazing out windows, lost in thought. This isn't by choice. Their brain simply processes engagement differently now. The silence stems from their mind struggling to maintain pace, not reflecting diminished affection for family. Conversations become tiring and overwhelming, often causing exhaustion and agitation. Familiar places may feel threatening, and previously enjoyable social interactions may feel burdensome. Though changed, beneath the confusion and withdrawal remains the same person, just one whose mind and emotions can no longer keep pace with physical existence. Watching someone mentally drift away while physically present creates an exceptionally painful kind of loss. Losing them gradually while they remain physically present makes acceptance particularly difficult. The emotional burden on family members witnessing this transformation is immense. They may feel helpless, frustrated, and grief-stricken, watching their loved one lose reality connection in uncontrollable ways. The truth is, your family member isn't choosing disengagement. Their mind and body no longer cooperate as they battle a difficult-to-understand condition. During these times, meeting them where they are becomes most important. Approach with kindness and patience rather than forcing engagement they can't maintain or expecting familiar responses. Offer comfort through presence. Speak gently. Provide reassurance and know that even in silence they feel your love. Recognizing these changes early helps understand this natural transition process. Treasure quiet moments and create peaceful, safe environments. Though words may fade, your presence speaks volumes. The love offered during these final stages, even wordlessly, resonates deeply because love transcends memory, enduring even when cognitive clarity diminishes. Health vulnerability and healing challenges. As the body approaches its final stage, it becomes increasingly susceptible to basic physical challenges that would have been easily overcome in younger years. The body's defenses, once robust and resilient, begin weakening. You might notice someone previously resistant to illness now constantly battling various ailments, coughs, fevers, or wounds that heal slowly. These aren't minor inconveniences but clear indicators that the body can no longer defend itself effectively. Family members, this proves deeply frustrating. You might wonder why healing has become so difficult. The answer lies in deteriorating bodily systems. The immune response, previously quick and effective against threats, can no longer mount adequate defense. Recurring infections become commonplace, and injuries that previously healed quickly now require weeks or longer, a painful reminder of life's fragility. As circulation slows and organ function declines, even basic treatments become less effective. Medications that once worked well may seem ineffective, leaving your loved one caught in treatment cycles without relief. The body, once vital, becomes a battleground where minor injuries develop into major concerns, a cruel reminder that the body is gradually yielding, no longer able to fight effectively. Most heartbreaking is that infections in elderly individuals often present differently than expected. Rather than obvious fever or chills, signs appear more subtly: increased confusion, appetite loss, or persistent fatigue lingering after the infection should have resolved. This makes family recognition of problems difficult until advanced stages. The tendency to fixate on curing these infections is natural, pursuing additional medications and hoping for improvement. Sometimes, however, comfort becomes more important than cure. The focus shifts from healing to comforting, ensuring your loved one feels cared for during their vulnerable time. Hydration, rest, and gentle attention become more important than fighting persistent infections. Accepting this process isn't easy. Watching someone battle continuous illness creates an endless cycle of loss. However, this time calls for grace, compassion, and patience, During final stages, they need love, comfort, and presence more than medical intervention. The quiet moments of tenderness, a gentle touch, reassurance of companionship, truly impact well-being. Ultimately, what defines their journey isn't physical ailments, but the love and care received along the way. Respiratory and circulatory changes as the body approaches its conclusion. One of the most poignant and unmistakable indicators involves changes in breathing patterns and circulation. These changes typically arrive gradually and quietly initially, like whispers that gradually become more pronounced and frequent. For loved ones, witnessing these shifts proves heart-rending, knowing they mark life's inevitable slowing. You might notice breathing becoming shallower, slower, or interrupted with pauses between inhalations. Breathing may seem labored or irregular, sometimes quick and shallow, other times slow and deep, creating unsettling helplessness. A significant change might include the onset of rhythmic breathing patterns alternating between deep, rapid breaths, followed by extended silent pauses. While initially alarming, this represents a natural bodily response during life transition. Though subtle at first, these patterns become more pronounced over time. You may find yourself watching helplessly as cycles lengthen and become more frequent, feeling the emotional weight of each pause and shallow breath as the body prepares for rest. Alongside breathing changes, circulation weakens, leaving extremities cold and distant. Hands, feet, nose, and ears may feel icy as if warmth gradually fades. Skin turns pale or slightly bluish, particularly around fingers and toes. This represents the body prioritizing blood flow to vital organs, a clear signal that the heart no longer pumps effectively. For family, watching someone become physically distant this way proves difficult. But remember, these signs represent natural processes that can't be reversed but should be accepted gracefully. Even simple movements may cause breathlessness. Position shifts, sitting up or speaking might trigger breathing struggles. It's painful seeing someone who once moved gracefully now gasping for air or pausing mid-sentence to breathe. Ordinary. Tasks like crossing rooms become monumental challenges, creating frustration mixed with resignation. They're restricted by forces beyond control, leaving caregivers feeling powerless. Sometimes fluid accumulates in lungs, making breathing increasingly difficult. Persistent coughs or gurgling sounds with each breath remind us of life's fragility. What might seem like common illness in younger people often indicates weakening lungs in elderly individuals. As breathing difficulties increase, lying flat may become uncomfortable, prompting them to seek relief by sitting upright using pillows for support, or reclining partially. The simple act of breathing, typically taken for granted, becomes exhausting. For family members, witnessing these changes creates profound heartache and helplessness, wanting to offer more than possible. You might feel compelled to encourage deeper breathing or constantly check comfort levels. However, an important truth emerges. Sometimes quick fixes don't exist for these processes. Rather than focusing on reversing inevitability, priority shifts to making remaining time peaceful and comfortable. Simple comforts like cool rooms, humidifiers, or small water sips make tremendous differences. Ultimately, they need your presence, love, and acceptance most. While medications or oxygen therapy might provide temporary relief, focus increasingly shifts toward comfort rather than correction. If you notice these signs, breathing changes, cold extremities, or bluish skin tones, pay attention. These shouldn't cause fear, but understanding that the body conserves energy and slows naturally. This time calls for presence, reassurance, and creating environments where they feel safe, loved, and accompanied. Final reflections as we conclude this discussion. Consider everything we've explored: physical decline, overwhelming fatigue, cognitive changes, increased vulnerability to illness, and shifts in vital functions. These represent key indicators potentially appearing during an elderly person's final year. These changes may emerge gradually and subtly at first, but eventually become unmistakable. Initially, ignoring subtle signs is common, hoping they'll pass, but eventually reality becomes undeniable. For many families, accepting these changes proves challenging. Naturally, we want to fight against them, encouraging loved ones to eat more, increase activity, and cling to life. However, sometimes honoring what their body communicates becomes most important. While we can't reverse natural processes, we can make remaining time peaceful, comfortable, and meaningful. Understanding these signs isn't about fearing life's end, but preparing for it. Early recognition enables informed decisions, optimal care, and ensuring your loved one's final months contain love, dignity, and peace. This time calls for cherishing every moment, sharing stories, and conveying that they're valued, loved, and not alone. As we reflect on indicators appearing during life's final stages, we hope this discussion offers understanding, peace, and clarity. Life's journey contains moments of love, challenge, and ultimately accepting natural rhythms. Remember that recognizing these changes allows offering comfort, dignity, and love during final moments. Take time now to reflect on what resonated most with you today. What practices will you incorporate into your life or caregiving approach? Understanding these transitions helps navigate life with wisdom, compassion, and grace as we journey together through its most challenging passages.